That works on my phone. Alright guys, this is Zack from RPGsite.net. We're playing some Disgaea 5. I'm not going to be going through any sort of story spoilers, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. I'm going to actively avoid anything that could give the story away, but obviously that's not going to completely happen. You're just going to have to kind of put up with that a little bit. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that while you're in the chat, feel free to fire away. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of be playing around a little bit and also kind of explaining the game itself. Trying to do this while my Persona 4 Dancing All Night review is being proofed. I'll have that up on the site pretty soon. But yeah, there you go. I'm sure you guys can hear me. So yeah, this is Disgaea 5. Of course, it's the I think they called this actually the 6th console entry, which makes sense. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, D2, and then Disgaea 5. It is easily the best the series has been. You can see that in my review, and you'll learn pretty quickly if you try playing this game how amazing it is and how deep it goes in its mechanics. As you can kind of tell from here, I am not playing Cordelia on my base. You can actually change the characters that you run around with, and so I am using my created character, Cordelia, that I am a huge fan of. I basically spent all the time on her alone, feeding her all the items, all the enhancements, all the status boosts, all that kind of stuff, to make her as strong as I possibly could by the end of the game. By the end of the game, the final boss was actually having a very difficult time dealing any damage to her. That's how much fun I was having with this. So that's kind of the stuff that you can get in with. While I'm here, I can kind of show you guys the menu, the status menu. So here, of course, it's kind of the deepest it's been as far as all the stats that are kind of brought forth to you as the player. So you can see on the left, obviously we have her name, her class. You can actually level up a character's class by just being good with them. They all have their own experience bars that you have to fill out. Obviously, it's harder to level them up as it goes along. Then you also have their very basic stats, attack, defense, intelligence, all that kind of stuff there. Then you have their more general stuff, the movement, which is how far they can move in terms of tiles, the jump, which, you know, jumping up on tiles, so the higher they can jump up, range of their attacks, the length of the distance they can throw, and the amount of times they will counter if they get hit, and the chance of actually being countered. And you got the equipment, the resistances to different elements and weapons. And then on the right side you have the weapon aptitudes, so you have, you know, their strength with fist weapons, swords, spears, and, you know, it goes through there, the shields, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty straightforward. Then on the bottom, you can see there the amount of mana that you have. Mana plays a big part in Disgaea. It plays a pretty big role in the strategy assembly, which I'll show a little bit later, but also in the character world, which I'll also show off. Then you can, you know, see my experience to my next level, which is going to take a while. Then you have the abilities, which is kind of their unique traits, their special abilities that they have that each character can equip. Some of them are unique to that particular player, but it has a big role. As you can see on the bottom, it kind of gives you a general description of what that is. So, as it says there, decreased chance of being afflicted with ailments by 50%. Lower the amount of damage that they're taking when they're blocking. With the Sword Knights, you know, defense is huge, and I've always been big into defense. That's like my favorite stat to build up is defense. Just the feeling of like blocking all the attacks and not taking barely any damage, I think is better than dishing out high damage to me. I don't know, that's just me. On the top, you can see their unique abilities, which, as it sounds like, it's unique to that player once again. Unique to their class is more like it. The common abilities, as you can see, there's a limited number of slots that we get, but you can increase that by just leveling them up, and the special unlocks you can get through once again, the character role that I was talking about. There's that. Let's see here. So we got specials, so all the special skills that you unlock over time. The squads that you can have them join. So once again, the effects. I mentioned this in the review, so you can have characters join specific squads that has a big effect on their inherent traits. So in this case, I have her join the Foot Soldier squad, which is easily arguably the best squad because, as it says there, enhances the stats of assigned members by the size of the squad. So the more members you have in this squad, the better, the higher their stats go up. So I have as many players as I possibly could packed into this thing, and it's pretty fun to see when you kind of like your special moves. Once again, guys, this is Disgaea 5. I see some people in the chat. If you have questions, just fire away. I can answer anything. I've beaten this game. Spent 50 hours in this game, so I think I'm pretty well equipped to talk about it. Just going through there. So here is the class proficiencies. One of the cool things that I love about this game, which is kind of my favorite thing about like Final Fantasy XI, is that you have your main class, but you also have all these subclasses, and all these subclasses that you can choose from, you can carry over their unique abilities and traits as they go along. So you can just say, alright, I want so many traits from the witch, I want some of her spells, but I also want the health pool of the martial artist, all that kind of stuff. It kind of all carries over, so you have classes and subclasses. Now you choose your subclass and you're kind of sick with that, but you level them up. So you can kind of tell, I played the Armor Knight and this is her main class, so it was going through the entire game with her like this. But you can kind of tell right away how much time you can waste just focusing on this alone, leveling up their classes. Obviously, she's kind of locked into the more humanoid classes. I can't just, make her an undead Armor Knight, as awesome as that sounds. Oh, you can barely hear me all the music? Here, let me mess with that, actually. I figured it was going to be like that. Give me one moment here. See if I can adjust the audio levels here a little bit. Let's see here, devices. We'll play with this a little bit and figure out, oops, what I got. Okay, you tell me, Tobias, if you can hear me better. We'll get back into the game and then I'm gonna... How does that sound? Can you hear me better? You're my go-to man. You tell me if this sounds good. The same? Oh. Maybe if I just adjust the in-game levels. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing this. How's that sound? It's really loud. Wow. Much better? Okay, good. Yeah, it's the problem with having the vocals playing around with this. Sorry about that. I'm glad you pointed this out. We actually had a big problem with Sword Art Online with the same issue. I should be more cognizant of it. I actually have the stream playing right over here, so I should know better, but apologies about that. But let me get right back into it then. I was just kind of explaining the status menu a little bit. So once again, all these different classes, as I was talking about, you can run through a lot of them, level them up. You can waste hundreds of hours, I'm sure, just focusing on this. So if you want to kind of cheese it, I'm sure you can get through it a lot quicker. But yeah, then it just talks about, there's some flavor text here, which is kind of nice. A soldier with an impregnable defense protects allies with their high defense, loves taking baths. Have you found the hidden classes jobs yet? I mean, there's hidden classes, I mean, probably. I mean, honestly, I'm not really aware of when I unlock these things, so let me head over to the recruiter. So I'm pretty much unlocked all the classes except for maybe a couple. So the Ninetales I know is one of those classes that they had. And so as you can tell there, as you rank up classes, you unlock kind of different colors, but also their proficiencies. As you can see, the aptitudes at the top. So the better that they are, you can obviously see that on the right side as well. And it kind of goes like that. So I've kind of poured a lot of time into this stuff. And it kind of goes from there. So yeah, I've got her to like probably I think I'm near the top of it, as you can probably see from before. So it's been a lot of fun unlocking these different classes, because some of the quests require you to level up a class to a certain level before you can unlock a new class or complete a certain quest. So it's important to just make sure that you're working on that a lot of the time. But fortunately, over here in the strategy assembly, which we'll jump over here, which is kind of a big part of Disgaea. It's a landmark feature that has been in this forever. They only show by completing certain objectives and you get an event. Honestly, I'm not really sure. I mean, there's been some overlords that I have obtained that are unique. That's probably it. I mean, where else am I going to get them from? I mean, they're kind of just named classes, though. I mean, they're classes that you can recruit, but some of them happen to be special. That's kind of it. But I had to go to another world to recruit them, so that's probably what you're talking about. But yeah, as you can see here, I can choose any of these characters. Once again, how big a role Mana plays in this, so I just choose her. As you can go through here, just like in the other games, you can change the name, the personality. You can have them start over from square one as reincarnation, basically starting from level 1, which is cool if you want to really work on their stats and feel like you maybe messed up somewhere, or just plain want another reason to spend another 100 hours with this. As I mentioned before, there's some classes so you can just change who they are. There's some great things about taking, say, one of these classes and add, say, a sage or a professor. It could really boost the most important stats that they need to make them pretty much unstoppable. You can change their colors that you've unlocked over time. There's some really cool palette swaps here going on. Yep, and also to point out, like as I get to this stuff, as you can see on the top right, there's a success rate where you have to go in front of the Senate, and they decide whether to approve something. So, like it mentions here at the bottom, you can learn new overloads, which is like special skills that you can learn. Here, you can pretty much change the character that you want to take around the Pocket Netherworld, or the base that I was just in. So, like before, I had Cordelia, but let's say I want Shermie, the zombie maid, and Morrigan, the samurai, the black and white samurai, which I think is a pretty great touch. And then I can just confirm that, and I'm controlling them from now on. Things like this, like you can give items to your online friends, and all these other kind of cool new features. Asking for money is a 1%, as you can imagine. The assembly does not want to give you any money, so you're probably going to have to fight them for it. Is there online mode? Yes, there absolutely is an online mode. I'll get to some of this stuff. I haven't really touched the online mode, but it's not... I mean, I don't think there's actually an online multiplayer. I think they took that part out. Oh, Toto Bunny, which is one of the worlds. Yeah, we'll not talk about that too much, because that's kind of relevant to the story. But yeah, so we got this, so now I'm controlling, Shermie, the maid. Then we got Morrigan, my battle maiden. So, as far as an online world is concerned, oh, I just realized that. A lot of that stuff comes through the map editor. So you can create your own maps in this game. As I mentioned once again in the review, that you can purchase new objects, new geo effects, all kinds of different stuff to pretty much build up maps that you can share with your friends and have them, fight on. But you can also play maps. You can locate maps that your friend made, or just online maps. So I can go to all maps and see what other people have made. I keep seeing Andy Scout. I saw him on Twitter. Apparently, not only has he pushed out a high-level play on Persona 4 Dancing All Night, but he's making maps here, so I think I'm getting used to seeing his name at this point. But Tosai J actually created a map that I've played a few times, which is just a bunch of like ways to build up experience. So I can download his map and see what it looks like and jump in there if I want to. You can kind of see down there, it's a bunch of printies that you can do on here. So did the map still lag a lot when there's a bunch of stuff like in Disgaea 4? No. The great thing about PlayStation 4 is that it's pretty much eliminated any lag that this game has. So you'll be able to just kind of hop right in, speed through a map, and get out. And when you have some free time, you know. That's the great thing about this, is that it's fast. The movement speed has been increased pretty dramatically. There's no hint of slowdown, no hitching, no frame drops, nothing like that. It's pretty great. It's made this whole thing a pretty compelling argument for why this is one of my favorite strategy RPGs. If there were those problems, I probably would have an issue. So just to quickly get around this map, you can see the geospaces, geo effects here. So as you can see on the top left, it gives you attack plus 150%, ally boost. So as it says, only your allies benefit from that. But you go over here, and if you're standing on the space, you get more experience, more money. It also decreases the defense and the mana, the defense of the characters on those spaces, and also increases the amount of mana gain that you get from defeating things. So we'll just, since I'm here, I might as well demolish this entire group. I have this high-level character, might as well see how it goes. You can kind of see how smooth this game. So it's easy as that. And because this guy created these experience effects, it really doesn't do you much good. And then of course you got this nice little picture on the right side. There's not too many of those, you know, there's maybe about like a handful of them, but they're all pretty good. So. Also, I don't think I mentioned this in the review, but yeah, at the end of a round, end of a battle, you have the top 3 characters can earn bonus experience points, and so obviously the first one gets the most, and then so on. But this is great, especially if you're grinding out characters and you're just this close to leveling them up. It gives you the nice extra boost. It's especially big towards the end of the game, I would say. And then at the end, you can kind of give your own rating for that. Let them know what you thought about it. Didn't think much of it. Don't think it has much of an effect. I imagine that at some point, like, there will be a ranking. And so, yeah, you do get to keep the experience and gold from online. That's kind of the whole point. And so you can see people exploiting this system and just really finding simple ways to do that. Whoa, okay. A gift is waiting for you. I don't remember that. RQ Advertisement Manager. Whatever that is. Okay, so, yeah, and then I'll show you guys the character world, or Kara world, or as they put it. So as I mentioned before, it's kind of like one big board game that is a great way to increase your character stats. And so let's take Brave, my demon, my overlord that I recruited. So we'll just get him on kind of the base level here. So we start here, there's all these different things. You can use items that have an effect on the dice that you throw, and the characters around you, all kinds of stuff. And then you can just get a good view of the map. Thankfully, this feature is included. I would hate to just be moving around this thing blindly. You can move around and see where a good path would be, like if you're trying to get the most bonus points, or you're just trying to get as quickly to the goal as you can, so you can just get it over with. Then yeah, you can always change your equipment, which is great, either in this mode or in battles. So I really appreciate that. It's some games don't have that. Some strategy RPGs don't have the ability to change equipment on the fly like that, and it sucks. So I hit move, and then I have, like, it goes 1 through 6, and then I just hit that. Well, got a 6. And then, yeah, just kind of move down the line. Can move back and forth if I want to, if I feel like I went too far or I went to the wrong place. So I'll go here. And because I don't want to hit a bad space, I'll just go right here. And then I got the Mothman Transport. Give me a ride. And so he'll like suggest me down here, but because I have these two characters blocking my way, I have nowhere really to move. I have to put up with one or the other, so I'm just going to go right here. Because I landed on a bad space, I had no choice. Either I was going to have my stats lowered or just kind of a random event here, random negative event. We'll just do that. Stole my money. I have a lot of money, who cares? Then I get 6, and then here you just do a duel. It not only does the dice play a role, but of course your character level does as well, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, sometimes you get these cool hidden unlocks, such as I boosted my defense by beating that person, so. And then, because when I turn it over, as you can see on the top left, by the way, I will mention that I do have a set number of turns that I have, but there's different ways to increase that or decrease that on accident, so doesn't mean you're kind of stuck with that. You have items at your disposal to increase the number of turns you have. There are certain spaces that grant you additional moves, and so it's pretty straightforward. So I'll move again. I'm getting lucky on these. And I go up here, and here's an example of that. So she's given me 2 more turns to make. The more time we spend in here, the better, because it's pretty expensive in terms of mana of doing that. I don't want to go that way because I got a red spot, so I might as well just break it through. Yeah, see? Just different spaces have some pretty cool effects. So I learned a new skill just by landing on that space. So there's a lot of great effects with this thing, and here's just a random event. This damn thief stole my money again. Oh, we're gonna go this way. What a jerk. I'm not gonna get this. Okay. So just a blank spot, obviously nothing happened. Go this way.
Good to hit it!
Press the that's your cue, just random thing appears. The enemy has appeared. And that's kind of it. I mean, you just go through here, grab an item, quick draw obtained, which is another item you can only use in this mode. But there are items in here that you can also use in the assembly to influence the Senate, and so don't feel like you have to use it here. You can always just save it for later. I'm just going to erase that because I don't want to run into that bad spot again. This. Man. Well, we'll see what happens. Increased by 2. Yep, I'll basically made a wash of what happened before. So we'll do this. And this very, very nice lady has given me money. Yeah, the art is great, the design is great, I just love everything about it, so... Oh, she didn't give me money, she gave me another item, which is good. I have 5 more turns, but let's just go ahead and get this over with. 10 more turns. To praise your health, I'll reward you with something. So this is kind of the coolest part of this whole thing, is that at the very end, you get to choose a random boost that can help you a lot in this game. So you have things such as right here it says tells you you can train your counterattacks, you can enhance the number of times you can counterattack an enemy. You know, other things come into play about how effective that can be. Like if your class is more reliant on the counterattacks to defeat enemies, then here like what you can throw, your jumping ability, your movement distance. And things like that, and you can also just learn a new ability, which is great. This is kind of the coolest thing about it. So you can just straight up learn something new that you can't buy in the shop, and there can be some pretty big effects here. So yeah, you can see increase my mastery grade for fists. I don't really use fists though. I mean, the monsters tend to use like certain weapons, so why bother with that? Yeah, increased damage dealt by criticals by 100%, but 50% critical will do zero damage, so do you want to take that risk? Is there a cap to the amount of times you can do this? Yes, it takes mana, and doing it once is like a number of mana, but it increases the amount you need, increases exponentially, like 10 or 100 times the amount that you needed to get before, so you really aren't able to really, you know, exploit this. unless you spent enough time and got a ton of mana and just did that way. I'll show you a little bit later some easier ways to get that though. Yeah, then it talks about this, or you can share your skills with other party members if you wanted to. Train equipment, equipment aptitude, and then it says like weapon mastery, that kind of thing. Or you spread around. I'm not entirely sure what that means. In this case, I'll just whatever. I'll enhance his counterattack. And so everything that you earned from that, the spaces that you stepped on that gave you stat bonuses, the skills that you learned, obviously all carry over to your character, and you can really benefit from that. So that's pretty much it for the Kara world. I can't say my R, so that's pretty straightforward. But yeah, on a specific character, yes. So I'll show you right now. Train. So look, I just went through that with him. The first time it took 100 mana. This time it takes 1,000. So it is per character, but like Cordelia, it's going to take me a little bit more to get the number of mana that I need to do it. But there's plenty of other characters that I can just spend my time with. You can recruit as many characters as you want into your party. There's no real limit on that. But, you know, at a certain point, like, you're really just kind of grasping for things to do if you're maxing out every character that you find. But, once again, some people love doing that, and I totally understand. So that feature is probably one of the biggest new additions to that. This was in Disgaea 4, and I think Disgaea 3 for the Vita was there, but a lot of people got super bored with it pretty quickly. I know I did. And so here it's been vastly improved upon, and so people find plenty to enjoy with that. Then we also have the squads, as I was kind of mentioning before, also in my review. So there's a bunch of different squads that you can have characters join on. Some of them are like you need to have a character in it in order for it to be used, like the Interrogation squad. I'll show that later. But there's other things too, just inherent effects here, like ability to use the leader's special skills, so you can have some random no-name recruit using Kilia's special moves if you wanted to. And then it's some pretty cool stuff here, like if you become a giant for 3 turns, so all their stats go up, and they have this special move that you can, the skill that they just pretty much squash everybody within like a 3-panel radius from you. So that's great for just clearing out large groups of enemies. Once again, like, attend the assembly as a senator, so this is a great way to have things go your way if you have high-level players just influencing everybody else and making sure that you get your way. Yeah, and the support group, once again, there's the Kara world right there, so you can influence that. All kinds of stuff. And there's more squads that I just haven't unlocked yet that you can still find benefit from. Then you have the Innocent Shop, which is just taking the inherent effects on items and equipment and putting them in other items. So, like, if a certain toy printy has, it says right here, if I take this Innocent, this thing that adds bonus points to an item's SP or like special skill points, you can put it in another item. So you can really enhance a weapon's or accessories or equipment's effect to a really high degree, which is a great way to just kind of, you know, completely destroy this entire system, because that's kind of the whole point. You're pretty much just trying to make the numbers go as high as you possibly can. It's kind of how it goes. I don't spend that much time with that just because it doesn't do much for me. I don't know. I've never really been into that kind of maxing out my levels to maxing out my characters to 9,999. Just here to have some fun. And this is also a really cool thing, being able to take party members and send them off to research different netherworlds and be able to locate special rare items, capture enemies, all this stuff while sending them out. So it's something I liked in the Neptuni Rebirth games, where they have kind of like this roguelike feature that you send a character off and have them just hunt, scavenge for different things. So here I can go in and you know, tell them to research this place, which I already have. Defeat an overlord, so if I find an overlord, I can just go in there. Even if the percentage isn't at 100%, if I just jump in there and defeat the overlord, it's automatically hit 100%, and I get all the items and stuff that they found. Tell them to come back, give up, or view the progress report. And this is kind of cool, like you go through here and see how they're doing at their expedition. So there's kind of some funny things here, like taking characters as enemies, trying to negotiate with an orc. Good luck with that. And all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's cool. Once again, I love the flavor text in this game. It's neat to just kind of read it at times, but it's there and it helps a lot. And you'll find some really cool stuff. Like I'm finding weapons. I'm finding healing items that are expensive and hard to find. The party members that go off and do this expedition do level up, so they gain experience from being out there fighting. So, in a sense, every single character in the entire game can be useful, which is very important. Some of the earlier games had a very big problem with that. You know, you'd have maybe like a set squad, and you'd be doing all kinds of stuff with them, while everyone else was kind of suffering and stuck at a lower level, and you're just like, why bother with them? Just leave them to die, or just get them, like, kick them out of the group. Here, it's totally different. You can tell every single person what to do. And then, yeah, this is just kind of the area of where you send them off to fight. Then you have the curry shop, which is kind of like just temporary effects. You just tell them to eat something. I have this on Japanese dub, and so it's pretty cool. So yeah, there's different curry that you can have them eat, which once again, it's just temporary effects that only affects the different battles. So increase their stats, the health that they have, all kinds of things. You unlock new curries as you go along. New curries, I don't know. The cheese shops makes a return, which is the best way to cheese the system. And so here, as you can kind of see, I had it set up where I was gaining a ton of experience at the cost of mana and money, because once you get towards the end of the game, it doesn't really matter. You don't really need money. You get so much money throughout the rest of the game, it's like bother. But if you wanted to, say, focus on increasing your weapon mastery or your skills, the experience you're getting from skills, you can totally do that. And so I can just mess around with these different numbers. It's kind of like that. And then you can also increase the enemy strength. And so it's a great way to grind for levels without putting as much effort as you would otherwise. So it's like, even on the first stage, you can have all the enemies be like level 1,000 and be able to get through it without having to put up with some of the later stages all the time. And then it kind of, this other stuff here is I don't really see a direct benefit from, unless you were just looking for a challenge. And some of the other stuff is fine, but there's like stuff here like where you can turn things to 0, like no experience will be gained, no cancels, nothing. It's like, I don't really see the benefit of that, but it's there, I guess, so whatever. Excuse me. Talking a lot. Then you have the alchemy, but that's kind of for late game stuff. And yeah, you have the interrogation room, where you can have characters that you found, enemies that you've captured through the game. You can interrogate them. In this case, I'll just like attack all of them at once, and then decide. I can go through the prison list and see their different stats if I wanted to, but either I can solicit one of them to join me. You have to unlock the class first before you can allow the prisoner to join you. If you haven't unlocked it yet, chances are you won't be able to solicit them to join your squad. You can also extract their power, and this can have a benefits across the board, like increase your attack, your HP, your SP, all kinds of stuff. It's a great way to, like what I did with Cordelia, really boost up her stats at a fast rate. And here you can make them a citizen, which you would do this in order to feed your squads and increase the level. Like, it helps them level up the amount of people that you have in the squad. So like, if I just make this person a citizen, I can just run back over here to one of my squads, and like, say if I wanted to increase the relief party, I just hit square, strengthen party, and then I can take one of these citizens that I have... Actually, I think this is just one of my prisoners. I backed that up. I think the citizen has a different play, but the current prisoners that I have, I can have them be fed here. So I can just say, you know, hit X. They leveled up to level 2. Now increase the number of units that can be in that squad. And it kind of goes forward like that. And so it's very important to continuously level up your squads. It's very key because that can have a profound effect on the game itself and the experience that you'll have in battle. And so, yeah, that's kind of it for some of the other features that this game has. So, yeah, skills. I can purchase new skills, buy new items, buy new equipment. Here's the quest if you want to see kind of the quest. It's the same stuff as before in the other games. Like, you have certain objectives that you have to meet to unlock new things. So I can recruit the Shroom, the Succubus, the Pirate, obtain new items, new equipment, earn money rewards, that kind of stuff. It's a good way to do those early on because it's an easy way to make a lot of money. So why not? So other than that, I think that's pretty much it for the base game. I mean, is there any questions that you guys have at this point? That you have any particular things you want to go over? I mean, that's pretty much it. As you can see there, it says post game. I mean, if you want to see my, here, I'll show you where my stats are. Let's see here. Oh, there's multiple endings. I will mention that. Multiple endings. I'm not going to show that, of course. You can listen to the different background tracks, which there's a ton. Someone's records. You can view... I didn't realize that you can view other people's records. That's, hey, we can see Rich Lando. I know him. Man, this guy's played a lot of this game. I wonder if... Let's see here. And can I see myself at all? I probably can easily just find out my own stats, but I wondered if this was kind of another way to find that. Nope. Got it here. Let's see here. The number of people that have uploaded, total playthroughs, total jumps in the base, 200,000, oh man, just crazy. Check my different records. There you go. Total playtime, just shy of 50 hours, as you can see there. Time spent in the base. So this is a long game. Now, let me be clear. Most of this game was spent playing the story. This game's story is long. So Disgaea, the other Disgaea games, you can beat the story in about 25-30 hours. Don't let that scare you away or anything like that. It's that the great thing about the Disgaea series is that there hasn't been much grinding. You don't really need to grind that much to enjoy this game. It's mostly just kind of playing the story. You know, that's how I got through Disgaea 1 through 3. I didn't really spend too much time with the other systems. I just wanted to get through the story. Sometimes I had to spend a little bit of time leveling up my characters, but for the most part, it was mostly just playing through it pretty straight. And so you can just totally spend time just enjoying this, not touching any of this all these other systems here, and still have a great time. And I think that if I had to recommend one entry from the series, it's got to be this. Disgaea 4 is another great entry, but I think this even surpasses that. So for me, I think that it was an easy recommendation. I hope that came across in the review, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But unless you guys have any other questions to ask, I think that's pretty much it for the stream. I didn't want to spend that much time because I didn't want to once again spoil anything for those coming into this for the first time, but it should be good. Is that it, guys? You're good? Alright. Well, okay. Alright, so that's it for me. Once again, this is Zach from RPGsite.net. Check out my review on the website. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And I feel pretty strongly about that. The only thing I knocked against this game was a little bit about issue with the story. The protagonist's motivations are kind of nauseating at times because they hammer it too much, but other than that, everything else about this game is incredible, and I highly recommend this game when it does come out. It actually comes out in a couple weeks, so we got to put out the review early enough for you to consider this if you want to pre-order this or buy it outright when it comes out. I'm sure any Disgaea fans are going to buy this day one anyway, but should be a lot of fun. But I just want to kind of talk to some of the characters here and see the other flavor text that they have real quick. Oh, don't want to go up there. There's things going on with that. I probably shouldn't be going through that too much. That's once again story stuff. But yeah, you can talk to all the characters in the home base. But yeah, it's good times. Alright guys, thanks a lot for joining me. See y'all later.